By the end of this video, you're going to know if the Lauri Markkanen trade rumor is actually happening or is totally unrealistic at this point. On top of that, I want to discuss whether or not this trade even makes sense for the Warriors, covering the pros and cons of it going through. First and foremost, this trade needs to happen before the August 6th deadline. And let me explain why this is important. It's true that right now Lauri Markkanen holds a lot of power, and the Utah Jazz are known by being an organization that usually make trades where they're winning. But the August deadline, it's going to play out really important because that's when Lauri Markkanen can actually sign an extension with the Jazz. And why does it matter? So combined with that, once you sign the extension, you cannot be traded for 6 months. So when you look for those 6 months ahead, it will be exactly February 6th. And that's the other window for being traded in the middle of the season. So combine all of this, what happens is Lauri Markkanen has to reach an agreement with the Utah Jazz by August 6th, the first day that he can sign an extension. And if that doesn't happen, he won't be able to be traded in the 2025 season, which could complicate some of the plan for the Utah Jazz. And that's likely why the teams are playing out with it right now, knowing that the Utah Jazz are requiring a lot to send Markkanen. He is really high asset in the market right now. He was an all-star. You can see the stats on the screen. So he is that second scorer that the Warriors need. And there are other teams as well interest on him. But this date is going to be very key. So I believe that for the Warriors, if this trade is happening, it will be by that date. Otherwise, he's probably going to sign an extension, which if the Utah Jazz are flexible and smart right now, it will be reached on that date unless Lauri Markkanen really played the hard ball to get a lot of money, which could reach something that the Utah Jazz are not willing to pay. So that could extend and would be complicated for them, but it's still his last year of the contract, so he would be able, in that case, if not reaching the agreement with the Utah Jazz by August 6th, then he would play the entire season there and become a free agent. So keep an eye, because all the news around him, it's going to come in these next few days. We are today, July 29, so it's very likely that he's going to reach that agreement with any team, if happening, before that. Otherwise, I believe it's going to be an August extension, really quick on that first day, and then probably the Jazz is going to find a spot for him if he really wants to leave by February 6th. So that obviously that trade for the Warriors, it could be good, could be bad, but there are one point of view that I want to discuss and could be really bad actually. So a lot of rumors, a lot of people saying that we know the Warriors want a second scorer, but why this could play out being really bad for the Warriors, right? So let's recap a few days. A couple of days ago, Draymond Green in a podcast came out and said that he spoke with the Warriors organization and he basically killed a trade. He didn't say which trade was that one, but we know the Warriors are very focused on Lauri Markkanen right now. And from that point, analyzing that, why that could be really bad, it is, as I said, the Utah Jazz are very known. They want to be the winners in that trade. They are requiring a lot from the Warriors right now. They want one of the rookies, and the main focus right now it's Brandon Porzingis. They want a lot of first-round picks, which would compromise the future for the Warriors. So let's break down. You would have to send good assets that you have right now, rookies that came from a very good season, such as Brandon Porzingis or Tracy Jackson-Davis or even Jonathan Kuminga. So that we have been improving a lot. So you're actually killing a lot of the opportunities that you have at this moment that we know. You never know how the player is going to come on the next season, but they have shown signs of good playing well. And plus a lot of first rounds. The Warriors have already, when you look for the past years, we lost, we were out this year in the first round of the draft. And that could happen for many more years if we made this trade. So it has a lot of bad signs on it as well. I think we have a very strong young core that it has been playing together, evolving and showing insights that they will get better. Like Brandon Porzingis, he was in the top 5 rookies of the year. Jonathan Kuminga, for many, were being considered as one of the most improved players that he already mentioned. We already mentioned here, and you can see actually the video here about Jonathan Kuminga on the screen. The only reason that he wasn't the most improved player was because of lacking a few minutes as a starter, so he could actually be part of the reward. So you would sacrifice a lot of the Warriors have been building. And let's not forget, when you look back 13 years ago, everything started for the Warriors dynasty believing on the rookies, right? We signed Stephen Curry 2009. We signed Klay Thompson 2011. And then you have Draymond Green coming 2012. They were all rookies. And let's forget that even before Stephen Curry became the player he is today, the Warriors believed on him by trading. They had 2 options, either trade Steph or trade Monta Ellis, and they believed in Steph, and that's how they built this whole dynasty. So I do think we have an opportunity here if we are a little bit patient and look ahead. So that's not sacrificing this. I think if we send all these assets, it will sacrifice it. It will be bad for the Warriors in the long term. And I do believe that's what Draymond Green spoke with the organization, because his quote was, "I always spoke with you about the interests of the organization, not only mine." So again, this trade that you are proposing will help me now, but will be bad for the future of the organization. So don't do it. And that's aligned with this sending a lot of what you have right now versus actually thinking on the future. But obviously, could have good signs if you do that trade, could have a good side of it. And let's discuss that. So what could be good? Lauri Markkanen was an all-star, right? He had a very strong season, scored to around 20 points per game. He's a good rebounder as well, has a few assists. And obviously, we know the Utah Jazz was not the most competitive team. So I do believe that him playing with other strong assets like Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, it will even maximize his potential. He is in a level, he is that second scorer that we don't have at the team right now, right? When you look to the Warriors roster, we have Jonathan Kuminga, that is a big if. We have, and I'll talk a lot about that as well. We have Andrew Wiggins. We don't know which Wiggins we are getting. And we also have the other rookies that is always like, when you look to the NBA, rookies come from a strong year. They might have and keep growing, and sometimes they just go away. So you would trade a more solid, looking for the past couple of years, asset than the ones that we have right now, a more guaranteed second scorer. And you obviously would put the Warriors in a better position, considering that the West is very heavy right now. You have a lot of strong teams. So that's the good side of it, right? It's more likely that you would be competitive for this next season, and you would still take advantage of the prime Stephen Curry. You maybe not even prime, but still playing as one of the top 5, top 3 players in the league. You would take advantage of the last 2-3 years that you have Draymond Green. He even said that, right? He's going for his 13th year. He's probably going to play 2 more. And then you also made a few other trades that the Warriors needed, and will allow Lauri Markkanen to maximize his potential even more. So that could be the good side of it. But what I really want to happen, right? So let me share with you what are my thoughts. And before that, I actually want to share, there are other trades that the Warriors are looking at. So let's break down those 2. The 2 names that are out there right now are Brandon Ingram and Ken Johnson. So Brandon Ingram, New Orleans Pelicans, Ken Johnson, Brooklyn Nets. I'm going to put the stats of both of them in the screen. You can take a look. They are solid players. Do I like both of them? Do I think they would bring a strong power to the Warriors? They would. Both of them, they are good scorers. I think Brandon Ingram is a bigger threat in the attack, in the sense. But again, it goes back to the fact that to make any of these trades, and especially with Ken Johnson, because Ken Johnson right now, he has a 94 million contract. He just made 1 year out of that, where he was paid 25. So we would have to pay another 24, 25 million for him this year and 2 more to come. The Warriors would be over the cap space unless they send someone, right? So we would probably have to involve Wiggins, Kevin Looney, Gary Payton, or we would have to involve lots of picks, and then we would have to pay the tax, being over the cap. And the same with Ingram. Ingram, actually, he is in his last year contract, then he's going to be an unrestricted free agent, but he also has like a 30-something million contract. So he would have to be very well paid, would put the Warriors in a tough spot salary-wise, unless we send a lot of the assets to New Orleans, which goes back to the point that I made before. We actually don't want to let it go, a lot of the stuff that we have, right? We don't know which Wiggins we're getting, but if we get that Wiggins from 2022, that is basically the second scorer that we need, right? So there's all these pros and cons, and that's why I wanted to tell you what I really want. And what I really want for the Warriors next year, it's to be a contender, right? Just to be make a title run, get that prime staff, and get that still what is left from Draymond Green. Do I think that can happen, and what needs to happen? I wouldn't do the trades at this point. In my point of view, the Warriors should wait for the mid-season trade window. And why? If you look historically and for how the Warriors have been performing, I think they have a better team than the last season. And that's the big question that everyone is doing right now. Are the Warriors, as they are, really better than the last season? I do think so. And I think so because we basically had, when you look for the rookie that we bought, Quinton Post, Kyle Anderson that was signed, Denton Melton, Buddy Hield, they are strong assets compared to what we had before. So we brought size. We got better on that. We also had Denton Melton that it's for many has been the best sign of the free agents. Obviously, there's some pros and cons there. There's some unknowns because he was injured for a while, but he's very strong. And then Buddy Hield is the second best three-point shooter in the league right now behind Steph. So he's basically a good replacement for the Klay Thompson that we saw last season, right? So I think we are strong. I think we have a young core. And I'm usually tending to believe on the development of players. Like the Warriors are usually good on developing that. So I do think that Jonathan Kuminga is going to get better. He needs to improve his defense, and I think the Warriors will work on it. Brent Porzingis, I still think he has a lot to evolve, and I expect more from him. I think Trace Jackson as a center, as he gets more mature, get more body, strength, he will get even better, and he already showed good signs last season. And I believe on Wiggins, right? I think Wiggins has this career that has been a roller coaster. He had a strong 2022. He's coming from 2 seasons not that great. So I think it's the time that he can rebound and be that second top scorer that the Warriors need. Otherwise, he knows he's going to be traded. And reminding, the Warriors just didn't get in a better spot last season because Draymond Green was suspended for 21 games. And I'm not saying that was unfair. I think he deserved it, but I think he learned. So I do think that knowing that there is a really short period for him and Steph, and now that Klay's left, both him and Steph, they have a chip on their shoulders. They want to prove that the Warriors' darkness is not over, and that is not over because Klay Thompson left. So I do think that they will come really strong and that the Warriors don't need this trade right now. They could make a good run in the first half of the season and then wrap it up, if necessary, make the adjustments. After you actually see how the players start the year, you would hunt for something in the mid-season trade window. So that's what I believe that should be done. Let me know what you think. Let me know, do you think the Warriors dynasty is over? If you want to know more about the Warriors dynasty, just click on this video here and I tell you all the story from the rise to the fall. Bye.